That'll get you started?
Yeah, thank you.
And when we're switching over to this bike, it's going to be controls and like the hand controls and stuff are all the same. Because I'll modify based on traffic and...
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we're going to do a test ride on... Sorry?
How much time do you have?
I got a good time. Let's do a solid experience.
Do the what?
Let's do a good solid experience.
Perfect.
Yeah. And a solid experience is going to be a fantastic long ride here. Very in-depth, very thorough. This is the BMW R1250GS, and boy, this is going to be one amazing ride. This is a fantastic bike, guys. I already have quite a bit of experience on the 1200 GSA Adventure, and I also have ridden the 1150 GS, the predecessor to the 1200 GS, and I had the GSA. And I'm telling you, man, this is probably the best bike in the world. You'll soon find out why over this 12-minute video. Every time I ride the GS, I realize how amazing of a motorcycle it is. So stay tuned here. We're taking a ride in San Francisco. This was taken about 2 months ago, and I'm just finally get the chance to get it ready for your viewing. So we are heading we are in the east of San Francisco. We're gonna head on a freeway, and then we're gonna head up a couple of hills and do a full thorough test ride of this motorcycle. This telescopic suspension is amazing.
It's so good.
It's like you miss it, you know?
It's a long way.
Yeah. You miss it. The brakes are so good. It just feels like my GSA. More power though.
Yeah.
It's got more power. There are so many things I love about this bike. Firstly, the telelever suspension is the best suspension ever. For such a big bike, what it does is the telelever suspension makes this huge bike. This is a 530 plus pound bike, 500, maybe even 550, but it makes it feel so light. The telelever suspension, it makes the front end feel so light. Typically these adventure bikes are very front and top heavy. The steering is very heavy, but this telelever takes the pressure, takes the weight off the front, puts it right in the middle near the tank, right? But the handling is so light and so precise. That's why this makes such a great handler. The other thing about this bike is of course the Boxer twin engine, which is so low to the ground. They beefed it up by another 50 cc's here, and I can definitely notice the punch here on the freeway, because on my GSA Adventure, when I get to 75-80 miles an hour, it kind of starts topping out, and then I'm just putting I feel like I'm putting a lot of stress and strain and buzz on the engine. But on this one, they still pull 75-80, they still pull on the freeway. So that I noticed the 50 cc improvement has definitely given it more punch at the higher speeds. Because in California and USA, we typically ride very, very fast. We're doing 75-80 miles an hour plus on freeways, and so we really need that extra punch. One thing I did notice on the freeway, since the first part of this is on the freeway, then we get into the hills, from a freeway perspective, I noticed that there is some wind buffeting that happens. Now, that is a bit surprising to me, because this is a pretty expensive bike, so I would have figured that if I'm paying premium dollars, at least it would have got the wind buffeting totally eliminated. here. There is a little bit of wind buffeting that happens at 75 plus miles an hour plus, so that's a bit. So I haven't looked into the aftermarket screens, but it doesn't really make sense spending this kind of money and then trying to go get an aftermarket screen for such a premium bike. Does not make sense. What I did like about this bike is the TFT screen. The TFT screen is just absolutely fantastic, and this sitting position is so comfortable. So comfortable on the freeway. This was amazing.
Oh, sorry. You on the controller on your left-hand grip?
Yeah.
Click it to the left. Here.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Right?
Yeah. This thing has a lot more power than my 2007.
Yeah.
Got more pop on the kind of the engine.
155 horsepower.
Yeah, more pop on the freeway, like 75, 80, a lot more grunt. Before I was kind of like struggling at 75.
Yeah.
But here I could get it up 80 plus really easy. So I was mentioning about the seating position. The seating position is so comfortable. You kind of feel like you're in a sofa. You can ride anywhere on this bike. Just absolutely so comfortable. So much room in the cockpit for me. I'm a 6 feet tall. It's actually 6'1", and this is so comfortable, so wide. The handlebars are so wide. My V-Strom handlebars feels very tight compared to this. It's similar to the GSA, but I think they're a little bit even wider than my GSA width-wise. So here we finished the freeway. Right now we're heading up to the hills. We're heading down to South San Francisco, and there are a couple of hills here, and he takes me on a couple of twisties, and it is definitely a solid ride. I definitely got a solid ride out of this. So I honestly think this is probably one of the best bikes in the world. This is, if there's one bike, if I had all the money, if there's one bike that I think would qualify as, if price was not an option, it would qualify as a bike that could do everything, I think this is it. It is so amazing, such an amazing motorcycle, so comfortable, so fun to ride, such an easy handler. It's got an electronic suspension, it's got heated seats, heated grips. It's just, I love just riding this bike. So here we're gonna go up the hills. We're starting to head into some South San Francisco hills, and we put it to its handling tests on the twisties and on the curves. And if you're evaluating the R1250GS, man, I don't think there's any better bike in the world than this one. It's just fantastic. What a beautiful day to ride. And whilst we're going up this hill, do check out my other videos that I just recently created on the Africa Twin, on the Kawasaki Versus. Do check those out. And then there's going to be a video coming very shortly on the S1000 RXR, the one that we're going to switch bikes here, the red one. So you'll see me ride on that video will be coming up soon. Stay tuned for that. And also I did notice that the brakes on this are better than my GSA brakes. At least the brakes on this are the best brakes ever that I've used. They just bite, the bike stops, it just sticks, and definitely the best. And the hydraulic the hydraulic shifter here, the clutch is also very, very smooth, definitely much smoother than my GSA. And they keep making this bike better and better, and it's been evolving for what, 40 plus years, this GS, and it definitely is the benchmark for adventure riding. This is definitely the top bike in adventure riding, and it sets the bar so high, and you will not be disappointed with this bike if you get one. We're getting close to the end of this ride, so all I'll say is you know, I can definitely say this is probably, out of all the bikes that I've ridden, I think this is probably the best bike ever that I've enjoyed. It's just the best bike ever. The only thing drawback to this is the cost, but I guess, you know, it justifies the price of this justifies how good of a bike it is, because if you get this, man, you won't probably want to ride anything else. If you had this in your garage, this 1250 GS, I don't think you would want anything else, because this does everything. Tours, it's fast, it's comfortable, except for that minor wind buffeting issue, but it just does everything so well, and you can't go wrong. And now they've enhanced the TFT display. They've almost made this bike perfect. It's almost perfect. That's absolutely amazing. I'm gonna be posting quite a few videos here in the future, so stay tuned on my channel. I did get a little busy with work, so I was away from video posting, but I'm starting to ride quite a bit and enjoying California. You'll see a bunch of really great videos coming here from California from me, and stay tuned. And here we're gonna change bikes, and I'll just close by saying that, you know, if you have a 1250, lucky you definitely made a good choice investing in this bike. And if you're a prospect to getting a 1250 GS, you will not regret getting this bike. It is the best bike I've ever driven, and so enjoy it. Lucky you, and stay tuned for my next upcoming videos.
What an amazing bike, man. The suspension on this is so plush.
Amazing.
The power, the delivery, oh man.
Yeah.
That's so refined. Man, you're good on those curves. Man, you're good at it. All right, let's do this.